Yo, we ain't did this guy in a long time. I don't think we ever had King Bro on the channel, man. I used to go to him when he used to like have braids and like long hair and stuff like that. I think I wanted dreads at one point, and then he got dreads. I ain't want them no more. Um. Anyways, let's get right into it. Let's go.
Pop YouTube, it's King Bro coming at you again with another video, and we're in for a treat today because we're going over the 5 top hairstyles for summer 2025. Alright, now before we get into the actual top 5, I want to give you guys a couple honorable mentions and just overall hair trends to look out for. This year, this summer, you want to make sure that you're flexing your hair type. So if you're somebody with that Enrique, you know what I'm saying, that type 3, type 4A type, any fancy little curl pattern, you want to make sure that you minimize your protective styling. Less braids, less twist. You want your hair out in a ponytail. You want to grow it out. You want your natural flow to be flowing. So if you got that type of hairstyle, flex it. Number 2, if you got like a really big beard, it's time to cut it and start over. And I know that's something that a lot of you guys don't want to hear, and your girls probably don't want to hear it either, but that's the trend this summer, especially as it gets hotter and gets warmer. People are cutting it down so you can get to the skin and actually see your face. So if you have a face card and or a really good jawline, this is a great time for you to cut it down and show that jawline. And if you don't necessarily have that jawline, then I'd say just cut the beard down a bit and not necessarily completely off, because even me with my beard, I'm not going complete bald but baby face. I'm actually just cutting it down to a nice 5 o'clock shadow to let you guys know that I could grow it out if I wanted to, but I'm keeping it low. Number 3, bring the fade down and the clipper guard up. In 2025, with so many men having issues with their hairline, they're having issues with balding crowns or just overall hair thinning, the flex today is having a full, thick, dark head of hair, which means you want to minimize the high fades. You want to bring that fade down as low as possible, and you want it thick up top. So if you got a Caesar, you got waves, no 0.5s, no 0.5s whatsoever. A 1 guard is as low as you should be trying to go. And number 4, it's a really small trend, but it's still a trend nonetheless. It's a very small trend of people getting cornrows and foregoing the front taper. Yes, this is the anti-front taper wave that they're trying to spark up. I do want to say this look, the people that I've seen pull this look off versus the people I've seen do this wrong. The people who pull this look off are often the guys who are fashionistas. They have small foreheads and full, really good looking hairlines. So if those 3 things sound like you, once again, really good hairline, small forehead, fashionista, meaning they put them clothes on. If all 3 of those things do not sound like you, then that last trend, number 4, is not for your kind, okay? Now, we normally start with number 5, but today I want to mix it up just a little bit. So coming in at number 3 actually is 2 different styles that look really, really similar to me. One, we got the jumbo curly fro, and the other, we got the early freeform fro, or at least that's kind of what I call it. Now see, in my opinion, this is nothing but a new 2025 version of the old 2018 curly fro and the old 2017 Duke starting 5 cut. But the theme in 2025 is bigger fro, lower fade. So for the curly fro, instead of a high fade with tight neat curls on top, it's more like a longer, thicker, messier afro that just happens to have curls. And the fade is super low, and the back taper is essentially non-existent, because the majority of people that are rocking this style love that they love exercising the ability to jump back and forth between cornrows and a normal fro. But we'll talk about cornrows a little bit later. Now, alongside that curly fro is what I call the freeform fro. Not to be confused with the full developed late stage freeform locks. That's not what's going on here. I'm talking about the early stage, like the less than a year in type freeforms, the baby freeforms. That's what's in style right now. And in case you weren't outside back then, the Duke Starting 5 cut actually came from a time when literally the entire Duke Starting 5 had the same drop fade and that heavily sponge twisted afro. I'm here to tell you guys that this is just the Duke Starting 5 cut with twist on top, but once again, it's bigger hair, lower fade. So attention all barbers, bring that fade down. Not high, medium, not medium, low. I also think this might be a great time to mention that if you or anybody that you know is suffering from hair loss, a receding hairline, a balding crown, or thinning edges, or you're just really
I ain't got time for this goddamn Rich Royals. Nigga, stay home on Rich Royals.
has just started hitting their stride in the lock community, this saddens me the most. Like, y'all wait till I got here. But if you're sad like me, good news. If you have locks right now, you are officially not a hype beast nor a wave rider, because locks are not trendy. The hype beast wave is gone. That mysterious Chief Keef locks in your face look, that's dead. Completely gone. And it's summertime, so it was too hot for all that anyway. But the trend now, if you have locks, is to get your locks out of your face. And to be honest, the little wave braid style locks is heavily influenced by the fact that braids in general are popping right now. And in case you have locks and you're sitting there thinking like, Brill, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen anybody with that style. Just be patient. I know. Because this is a super early call on a trend, and it probably won't peak until back to school season. So if you start right now, you get them right now, you'll be known as a trendsetter. And to be super honest with y'all, so many people have gotten rid of their locks, I'm pretty sure that this style will not have anywhere near the same momentum as 2-strand twist did, because 2-strand twist on locks went platinum, double platinum. I got 2-strand twist in right now. But braid locks just won't have the same wave, number one, because it's early in the cycle trend, so you need to wait. Number two, you need some length to actually pull this off, so no starters. And number three, it's just not as many people with locks anymore, so it's not gonna seem as huge of a movement. While every other style on this list is kind of close to its peak in popularity, this one right here is a super early call. Coming in at number 2, she like the low cut Caesar with the D-wave. Yes, the waves, the low cut Caesar with the deep waves is coming in strong at number 2, man. Man, waves have been at an all-time low for like the last 7 to 8 years for real, man. But they are back, and not really in terms of back like a lot of people got them, but they're back like in high demand. Specifically from the ladies. Like, in case you've been under a rock, understand that wavers and dreadheads have officially switched places in society. Like, at one point, if you had locks, you had like that mysterious future architect. Like the dreadheads do it the best, you know, fun time, not a long time type of guy. And the wavers were the basic, born, safe guys. But now all the guys who have chopped and successfully achieved a full head of thick, deep waves with a good hairline, let's just say this summer they're putting up buckets. I'm talking about they putting up buckets, crossing over like prime Darren Williams, you know what I'm saying? Prime Chris Paul, if you will. Definitely not now Chris Paul. Now, I want to say this. There is a specific look your hair gives off when it's like fresh off a big chop and your hair's still sticking up and it's not used to laying down yet. That just cut my hair off Caesar is fire. It's a vibe. That's cool. But just know that once your hair gets past that stage, you got to get waves. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean, yeah, I got a couple waves. I mean, you got to get deep waves. I'm talking about like I'm really spinning. Like 3 steps below 360 Jeezy. That's what I'm talking about. Because the low season itself is pretty basic, you know what I'm saying? And what sets you apart is your wave pattern, or at least it can, and that's determined by your genetics, and it's a real form of self-expression, individuality, and it always complements the cleanliness of the cut and the sharpness of the shape up. And not to mention, having waves makes you look clean, intentional, and well taken care of. But just the plain Caesar, especially a low Caesar, it can have the opposite effect. It makes it seem like you didn't have time to take care of yourself, or you don't take care of yourself, so you just tell the barber to chop it all off. And depending on your age and how you dress, it can make you look like an old head. Like, y'all got the PJ Tucker cut without the PJ Tucker money in the shoes. You know what I'm saying? It will not work. But otherwise, if you spend time on TikTok, please understand that women are salivating over any young man with a low fade and some waves. So if you ain't got no plans on Saturday, go get some waves, make a TikTok, and your bookings will be full. I'm talking bundles by Britney full. Making a surprise appearance at number 4, the Pop Smokes, or the Young Amaze, depending on what hair texture you got. Honestly, this one is a surprise. It came out of left field, but I think these are gaining popularity because so many of y'all had them sky tops. And thank God for my boy Tariq, because he's the one who actually told us all that you can grow out the size of your sky top a lot easier by getting the Pop Smokes. So the method is basically you got braids on top and you basically thug out your sides with an afro for a month, 2 months, maybe 3, and then eventually you braid it into the Pop Smokes because the Pop Smokes don't need as much hair. That's genius. And I wouldn't be giving them their just due if I didn't mention the braiders for absolutely killing it. The designs, the cleanliness, y'all are cooking. And everything is sharp, shiny. Shout out to the girl who did Tank Davis's hair before his fight against Lamar Roach. Braiders are killing this style. And this is also like the best transition style, not to mention like if it's your first time having braids type look, because nowadays you don't have to face the consequences of having neck braids. You just get the Pop Smokes instead of cornrows. And if you got like an ugly back taper, like you violated the back taper rules and you didn't think ahead, this hairstyle will save you. You literally just get a pop smoke so the back can still get faded by the barber. And coming in at number 1 is, you guessed it, cornrows. More specifically, stitch braid cornrows with the front taper. And they are on a generational run right now. Cornrows are even influencing how we wear other styles like locks, where earlier we talked about the Lil Wayne and style locks earlier. And part of me is just hating a little bit because I was killing y'all with cornrows back in 2022 when everybody had locks. But now that I got locks, everybody wants cornrows. So it's a little bittersweet, but it's cool because I do understand, because they might be literally the cleanest yet most self-expressive style that a man can have. You get the neatness of waves from the front taper. You get the self-expression of designs and patterns in your hair with different braid styles. Not to mention, cornrows stay flat against your head, so unlike locks, you can still wear all your hats, and you get the experience of having hair, like the curly hair effect from the braid out, or you can just get it blown out and literally leave your hair out. And so many people I know swapped locks for braids specifically, and I'm sure you know some too, but just in case you don't, here are some famous people everyone recognizes. I think the first celebrity I've seen do this was actually 21 Savage. You know what I'm saying? He was the first one I've seen make that transition. But I recently saw a clip from Talil's stream, and I actually saw that Lil Baby made a guest appearance where he showed that he combed out his locks in order to get cornrows as well. And of course, you got those people who've been hip to cornrows like Tank Davis, Stefan Diggs, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and Ryan Coogler, who actually directed the new movie Sinners, which is a 10 out of 10 if I must say. And he done all the Creed films. And all of them are rocking cornrows. And all these guys, especially the athletes and Ryan, are generally some of the best well-dressed.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people didn't like that movie. They talking about it was like 2 out of 10. I don't know. Like it didn't perform well. I don't know. Anyways,